Hello, it is Throwback Thursday, July 29th, 2021, and we're throwing it all the way back to my childhood and before that, as we remember the late, great, unbelievably awesome Ron Popeil, who passed away peacefully in his sleep yesterday, surrounded by his family. Absolutely undisputed, without a doubt, the greatest pitchman salesperson of all time. And that is going to stand for, could be forever. I don't know if anyone could ever surpass him. So look him up to get all the details. I mean, it brings back memories from as long as I can remember seeing Ron Popeil on TV. I think I read something once where he's been on more TV stations for more time in more markets than any other person in the history of television. He started out, his dad was an inventor and invented, I think his dad invented the o-matic, which later on is one of the things Popeil sold on his late night infomercials, which he invented the infomercial. And you might hear to this day pitchmen on and off TV uttering the phrase, "But wait, there's more." Well, Ron Popeil is the first one to say that. He coined that phrase, "But wait, there's more," and other things. I mean, it just brings a smile to my eye. Ron Popeil, late night, all over the place, always inventing. I read that he started out working in Chicago. That's where his dad's gadget factory was, where he was inventing all kinds of things. And Ron, when he was a teenager, would go out and just sell them on the street and bring in hundreds of dollars a day at like flea markets all around Chicago. And then he would go to state fairs all over the place. And to this day, you see the pitchmen at the state fairs. You can't avoid going, if you go to like I do, it's one of the highlights of going to a state fair for me. I got to find the person pitching the gadgets, the knives, and the this and the that and the whatever. All comes from Ron Popeil, who said, I'm pitching this stuff in person. Let's translate it to this new medium of TV. And he had the first, I think it was like 1 or 2 minutes, black and white, direct sales commercial, the first one ever, selling whatever, the o-matic, the veg-o-matic. I mean, I think it was the veg-o-matic where he said, it slices a tomato so thin it only has one side. I mean, he was just a genius at marketing and sales, always coming up with a new gadget. The pocket fisherman, fishing rods. Oh, they're all long and no, this thing, you put it in your pocket, it folds out, boom, you're fishing. You had the black spray paint. Maybe it came in different colors, but it was like, whatever, I forget, it had some scientific name, but it was like you spray it on your bald spot. Now, obviously, it wouldn't work for me, almost completely bald, but men that had like a bald spot, which I had at one point before I lost it all, you spray on like this. I know I call it spray paint, but of course he called it something, whatever, scientific sound, and sold millions of dollars worth. It was really just like spraying black, whatever, spray paint onto your hair, and I guess it would cling to the other hair particles and kind of fill it in, and it was kind of fluffy or whatever. You would fool people. It's real hair. I mean, he was just a genius coming up with stuff that just people would buy. Billions and billions and billions of dollars sold. I think his most famous one came late in his career, the rotisserie, the Showtime rotisserie, I think it was called, where he coined the phrase, "set it and forget it." You might remember watching those infomercials where now he had the whole audience, he knew how to do it, had the whole audience there chanting along with him. And what do? Set it and forget it. So I don't know if you can, how can you forget that one? Set it and forget it. Sold ridiculous millions of dollars. I remember watching that. Infomercials back then were famous. I think his first thing sold for like $2 or $3, but he sold millions of them. But later on, like the magic number was always $19.99. $19.99 plus shipping and handling or whatever. Now it's like pay a separate fee, get a second one, whatever. But I remember when that Showtime rotisserie first came out, and it was like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 payments of $19.99. It was like, wow, he's selling something on TV for like $100 or something. Like, amazing. And he sold I don't know, millions and millions of dollars. Oh, he helped form the entire online TV shopping networks. I think it was QVC he was at, where he was the first one ever to sell $1 million worth of stuff in 1 hour. I think that was the rotisserie. He sold like $1 million of them in an hour, and really put QVC on the map and all those TV home shopping channels that I love to watch. What else? Oh, I mean, come on now. If you ever saw the famous Saturday Night Live, you can probably, look it up on YouTube with Dan Aykroyd doing the o-matic. Well, of course, that comes from Ron Popeil, who did the chop-o-matic, the veg-o-matic, the whatever-o-matic. I mean, I think they made a cartoon out of him and made fun, on The Simpsons and this and that and whatever. He was always on with like David Letterman and Conan O'Brien and all that. They would bring him on, and I mean, just a masterful entertainer. He really understood that sales is entertainment. People have said to me over the years, when I'm doing sales, like, gee, if this falls through, or that you ought to be a stand-up comedian. I always would answer them and go, I am. And the cover charges whatever the price of whatever I was selling. And so if I was selling something for $10, I go, I am. And the cover charge is $10. And as a bonus, you get this for free. So, but I get that, of course, as everyone gets everything who does sales, from Ron Popeil, just the ultimate pitchman. So he coined phrases that are in the common vernacular. He sold billions of dollars worth of stuff. He was an inventor. He's in, of course, the direct selling or direct marketing Hall of Fame. He won like every award you could possibly win. I mean, how many salespeople are invited as a guest on late night talk shows? That's how entertaining and how great he was. And I think that like the History Channel and Biography and all these channels have done like, an entire hour of his story. I mean, talk about rags to riches, right? Like born to a working class family, went right out on the street as a teenager, just selling stuff on the street. Later on, selling on TV and making billions of dollars and becoming one of the most famous people in the world. And I don't know how it works, but I would think if it were me, I'd keep his infomercials running. I wouldn't take him down just because he passed away. So I think, who knows for how long you'll continue to see Ron Popeil all over the late night TV airwaves. Madison is here, great seeing you. And I saw some other names come across. So throwing it back to Ron Popeil, the greatest salesman, pitchman of all time. Every time you see anybody at a state fair or on a boardwalk or in Costco or wherever demonstrating their stuff, and the crowd gathers just to watch. The stories say that when he was a kid in Chicago, people would just gather around. They'd just come by in the lunch hour. I would do that. I didn't even know at the time really what it was, but I remember when I was, in school or working summer jobs or whatever, like, yeah, I would sit there at my lunch hour in the store and just go into the store just to watch the guy do the whole presentation for 20 minutes selling knives. I wasn't buying any or anything. I was always entertained by it. Well, people that are entertained also buy stuff. So just countless lessons to be learned from the life of Ron Popeil, and we will never forget him. So that's it for Throwback Thursday. One of my favorites, absolutely, of all time, Ron Popeil, gadget inventor, marketer, salesman extraordinaire. Rest in peace, Ron Popeil. All of us, all business owners who are all salespeople at heart, anyone in sales, marketing, we all owe so much to you. Thank you.